Let's sell your house.
I'm Drew Symons.
And I'm Jennifer Gale.
And we're going to talk to you about selling your house from start to finish.
Welcome back to the YouTube channel. So let's talk about selling your house from start to finish.
Okay, last time we talked about buying.
Yes.
This is going to be selling. So whether you're buying or not, we're going to just talk about what do you do if you want to sell? What do you do first? Okay, so you're at home, you're talking to whoever is important in the decision. We want to sell, we're moving.
Well, I think the first step there is, in today's day and age, everybody knows a realtor. There's good realtors marketed a lot. So you would send a message or call your realtor to come over and give you a price on your home so that you can start to make decisions based off of numbers.
Yep. Okay, so what we don't want people to do is get on the apps.
Oh, yeah, we don't want you to do that.
That's a dangerous game. We're coming up against it more and more is the House Sigma apps. People like to price their own houses. That's a dangerous game, correct? It's
a dangerous game, both positive and negative. So there's only so much information that a computer is going to generate for you. It's going to pull, when we're looking at those apps, it's going to pull past data. The realtor is going to look at things that you can't pull from the internet, such as landscaping, HVAC systems, and all those updates that you've done to make the home yours. Yeah. So better to go into that appointment, I'd say, as a blank slate and let the professionals lead you.
Okay, so if you're at home and we decide to do this, or they decide to do this, you think you have in your mind some things that need to be done. Yeah. Do you suggest that somebody gets those done before you have a visit with the real estate agent, or would you?
Absolutely not.
No, you want the real estate agent in there first.
Yeah, because what happens is when we're living in our homes, you probably are the same with your wife. You look around, you're like, it's bugging me. But when we're looking at the home to sell, it just becomes a house. So there's a lot of ways that you can save money, and some things won't be important to the next buyer. Some things are important, but you need a professional that's out looking with buyers to show you what's important to the buyer. Yeah.
Does somebody need to clean and tidy their house? Does that matter?
It doesn't matter at all, but I would say that every single listing appointment, for the most part I've ever been on, homeowners want to get the house clean.
Yeah, they get.
It doesn't matter to us. Yeah. So we're looking at bricks and mortar,
and yeah, I mean, you want it to be neat and tidy, obviously, because there's a stranger coming in your house. But we don't look at that.
No,
we don't care. Okay, so we come into the house, and what are we telling them? What's that conversation look like with somebody that's going to sell their house?
I think first things first, you should sit down and talk about your motivations, where you want to go, what your plans are, what has stimulated the move, whether downsizing, upsizing. There's so many different reasons why you're moving, so that we can the realtor can start laying the path for how do we get you there for the most amount of money with the least amount of inconvenience.
Right.
But definitely being very candid. So you want to make sure that realtor that you're having, you like them, you trust them.
Yeah. If you have, so we go in there and we're touring around the house, and we see a few things that could be buttoned up. What's the time frame that somebody's looking at? Do we generally, I mean, we're not going to get into our end of the sales process of it, but from the consumer point, would you rather us give them a list or discuss a list with them of paint touch-ups, organization, cleanliness, packing, whatever need be, and then come over and list? Or are you should somebody just get that on the market quick?
Depending on the list, and again, we're not going to talk about our process, but I would put a deadline on that, and I would take the list that the realtor gives you and not make a mountain out of a molehill, because sometimes, you start touching up the paint here and you're like, oh, I'm going to paint the whole room.
Yeah.
And what people should know is that the only market that we really know is the market today.
Yeah.
So we're talking in today time. So, you know, whether that list, I would say, be a week out, and that gives the realtor some time to do some behind the scenes things as well.
And picture ready is more important. Like picture ready is
Yes.
almost the most important. Like
Yes.
to me, personally, I always think, and I tell people, picture ready is arguably more important than show ready.
I agree.
Right? Like,
and I'm not allowed to say that
right.
we do that.
But yeah, no, for pictures, you're trying to capture the internet,
Yeah.
you know, crowd to want to go and see it in person for sure.
And when we're talking about picture ready, you know, what does it, like right now we're in the season change. So we still have some green grass. There's still a little bit of color around. So you want to time around the photos for that as well.
So for the consumer, we've been in there, we've maybe made a list. We've given them a week. We say, okay, we're going to come by next week. We're going to take pictures. We'll have the paperwork ready. Again, that's for another discussion. In that week, outside of that list, what are some things that seller should be doing or could be doing to help themselves out?
Well, first, I think an overlooked step in that is they should call whoever their mortgage is with and find out if there's any mortgage penalties. The realtor should give them a list of some expenses that will come, just so that you're mentally ready. You want to, the outside maintenance is on top of that list. You want to, you might want to tell your neighbors. It's very alarming when you have neighbors for a long time to all of a sudden have a for sale sign. You want to talk to everybody that's in your family and let them know what your plans are, so nobody's alarmed.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a few things on that list that are pretty common throughout you know, most of our listings, right? So we get ready for pictures. It's picture day.
Yep.
We've scheduled a photographer to come over. Everybody's, you know, the seller's probably nervous. They usually are pretty, you know, frantic, and you know, they just want everything perfect, which is good.
Even when I sold a home, I'm frantic.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've been too, right? What are some things to get ready for those photos that seller can do? Like as far as, you know, I'll prompt you, like bathrooms, kitchens, floor space, that kind of thing.
White towels.
Okay, there you go.
You want to, if you possible, you want your bedding to all match. You want the beds made perfectly. You want toilet seats down, empty garbage cans. You want dog beds kind of pushed away. Kitchen counters, want to see them look empty so that we can see space. I like to keep the corners of rooms very clear, because visually when you walk in as a buyer, when you can see the corner of the room, you can see the space better. Fluff your pillows. If it's fall, like right now, put some nice mums on the front porch. I famously like a bowl of lemons. It's worked for me.
A bowl of lemons?
Yes, it works. Okay. Yeah, I have clients that will always tease me about a bowl of lemons. It's fresh. You asked me.
Okay, I know, that's fair enough.
You don't want toothbrushes on counters. You want to get, you know, any medications put away, any personal belongings. So like you want all your surfaces nice and clean. You want.
Now, lots of people have cats.
Yep.
We don't want the litter boxes in the bathrooms.
No, we do not want. No, utility rooms are the best.
Yes, like hide them as best you can. And clean them out. Okay, so pictures are being taken. Yep. Let's say after the pictures are taken, we've got all our paperwork. Again, we're not going to go through that aspect of it. We've signed the listing. We've decided on a price. For the seller, then what's next? Like, let's say it's going live 2 days from then, just to give the photographer time to get everything done,
And by going live, that means I'm going onto the internet, realtor.ca and the boards.
So the second it's live, I say to sellers, the second it's live, be prepared for showing. You know, don't assume it may be a week before you get your first showings. Be ready to go.
Well, this is going to, you know, the right price on a property is imperative.
Yep.
So assuming that we have the proper price, everybody's in agreement moving forward. We have gone to the market, the for sale signs up, showing should start taking place. Your first 10 days on the market will be the busiest time. So if we have a home that's priced at 500,000, all the current buyers right now have seen everything for 500,000. So it's very exciting when a new home comes on the market. So that's our first showings are going to be our best showings.
What are the mechanics for a showing? So, if you haven't sold a house in, a long time, that might be different from when you sold it last time, right? So how does a seller, the signs in the ground, we've told them, here's the MLS number, it's on realtor.ca, it's a go. Mm-hmm. Somebody wants to see it. How does that look for the seller?
The buyer's agent or the buyer would contact you as the listing realtor, and from there you would ask the sellers if that time works. Generally, we like to give as much notice as possible, but we're working at the mercy of other agents and their timing. We would get the go-ahead from the seller to show the home. We would ask that our sellers try to leave a half hour. Myself, I would ask that you leave a half hour before. Give a full hour for the showing, regardless of how long that's going to take. Turn on all the lights on the home. If you got a fireplace, turn that on. All nice light music. You just want it to feel like home. Please do not be home for showings. Bring any pets out of the home. Cats can stay, dogs can't, as a rule of thumb. And the same as when you were getting ready for the photos. We want the counters clean. We want everything, the toilet shut. And I would suggest don't lurk and watch the buyers show the
like
home.
Down the street. So let's try to cover everybody that could be a seller, right? We have a lot of elderly people selling now, like kind of older aged at the start of the baby boomer stage now. Some of them have a hard time getting out. What do we do if I'll probably put you on the spot because sometimes we don't know what to do, right? But what if somebody's elderly and they're single and they don't have
the ability
family?
To leave the home?
It's just hard for them to leave. How do we navigate that as a seller?
Sometimes you can just go to the back porch and be quiet, and we would, as the agent, let buyer's agents know that scenario or what works. Typically, you have a neighbor, though, that you can go over and visit. But just if you do have to be home, I would just be quiet and stay right out of the way. No, don't answer. Be friendly, but don't get into a lot of conversations
and let them talk, right? Like, for as hard as it is for somebody to come into your house and maybe say they don't like the color of the carpet or the paint, you can't take that personal. Like, you've just got to let it go, right? Okay, so there's a showing. It's a week of showings. There's been 5. The agent calls the seller and says, we got an offer. What do we do? What does a seller do other than have their heart go through their throat?
Well, you're going to want to review the offer.
You're
going to set up at the earliest convenience with you and the agent to review the offer. And very hard to do, but at this point it needs to become a motion removed, and we are just looking at the offer. And when you look at the offer, you want to look at price, which we scan through. Offer documents are typically 5 to 6 pages long, and we're going to look at really 4 areas. We want to know the price, we want to know the deposit, we want to know the closing date, we want to know what you want to keep, and I want to know the conditions. And you have the opportunity to accept that offer, reject the offer, and I always say if you don't like the offer, you would counter the offer.
Sign it back, whatever they call it. Okay, so it's doable. They accept it. There's a home inspection condition.
Mhm.
What does that look like for a seller?
So by the time we get to home inspection, that's a pretty exciting time. You know, we covered that in the buyers.
Yeah.
We want to know that the financing's gone through. So home inspections is just a tutorial for the buyers about the home. So the home inspector is going to look at things like grading, your HVAC system, your insulation values, things that we can't see. Not every home, like you suggested, is going to be perfect. So, you know, don't get too alarmed. So you do have to leave the home for that home inspection time as well.
Very
and
important.
leave the agent, the inspector, and their clients to do what their due diligence. And typically 3 to 4 hours is, you know, that might be a longer.
They seem to be shorter nowadays. Like back when we were new, they seemed to be 4 plus. Because I don't think they had the.
I did an 8-hour one once.
Yeah, they used to write stuff down instead of just punching it into like an iPad or something.
But give appropriate time. I mean, go and make yourself busy that day.
Yeah.
Go to the mall, get yourself busy, get your mind out of it.
It's their house for hours and hours, and you just can't be there.
Yeah.
That inspector and that agent, as harsh as it may sound, don't care about your explanations on what things you did to the house, right? Like what kind of cowboy repair you did on that socket. It doesn't matter.
Not everybody does cowboy repairs.
No, exactly. Going back, so I did forget to mention one thing. So that offer presentation, and maybe I'm old fashioned, I think you would probably be along the lines of this. To me, that should be presented in person. I think that most sellers, logistically, if it's possible, would love that offer presentation to be done in person.
I 1,000% agree with that. Just,
I think e-signatures have gotten out of control. I think
my process would be when we have the offer, I set up the time with the seller to meet them. If I have that offer in hand, I will send it to them to review and set up the time so we've had a chance to look over it, and then we can talk.
Yeah, like I want to be there with somebody to just feel out the situation. Like if you're just doing it through text or email, I don't know if somebody's agitated about it or getting nervous about it. Like it's our job to, you know, if a seller's nervous,
build the bridge.
Yeah, for sure. And I
agree with that.
It's just the automatic e-signatures, I think, has just gotten out of control for a lot of things.
You can do that after the process, but and at all case scenarios, if that's not possible, you should jump on a Zoom call or something so you have some face-to-face and talk about it and understand where the buyer's coming from. The agent should know where the buyer's coming from, so walk through the process.
Okay, so inspection done. Let's say they've waived their fine. Everything's done. It's a firm deal. Does the seller have to really do anything?
Yes.
What? Tell me.
Well, first, the seller's agent has to get the paperwork off to the lawyer. So you need to have your lawyer. The paperwork needs to go to the lawyer. You need to make sure that your utilities are paid, property taxes are paid, and you have to maintain the home in the same condition that it was when it sold. So if you have a 2 to 3 month closing and a fridge breaks or something, you have to make those repairs. It's still your home, and we are selling the home as the purchaser bought it. So, you know, furnace filters changed out, water softener, salt in there, maintain the home like you're giving.
Other than packing up, pretend you still live there.
Yeah,
because
you do have
to
pack. You have to schedule your movers. That's a big one. I would do that as soon as you have the firm deal. My tip always get the movers first thing in the morning.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Yeah. And again, like you mentioned it last video, they always run late. Not the maneuvers, but the job. The job may run late. That's what I mean. So if you book movers for 2 p.m., dangerous game.
First thing in the morning.
Yes, perfect. And I mean, obviously, like for if you're doing a same day close, like a lot of times that close time could be anywhere from 11 or 12 to 5.
That's a misconception too. So, in our agreements of purchase and sales is the latest
6,
time is
yeah.
6 p.m. But the truth is, as soon as the money transfers within the lawyers, that home is essentially the buyer's. So you really want to be packed, cleaned, and ready to go first thing in the
Yeah.
morning.
So the movers just move a bunch of boxes and they're gone.
Yeah. And you can leave the home clean. You should leave
Yeah.
the home clean.
We've seen it
yeah.
all. Okay, so it's firm. I mean, you've got that move date coming. In the meantime, that offer probably said 1 or 2 walkthroughs.
Yep.
For a seller, what are those? Are they something to be nervous about for seller? Are they something they have to do anything for? What do you just give some guidance on that?
Yeah, I think that you still want to have the home presentable. And you would get the same notice, so appropriate notice for that. I think just good etiquette would be to leave any manuals that you have out for any appliances. If there's any useful tidbits that you can leave for the seller, like the latch in the garage works XYZ, so that you can give a package to that buyer. Leave the home typically for those walkthroughs for an hour, depending, unless people are getting quotes and it's all agreed upon. Yeah, and same rules as a showing.
Yeah. I've had a few sellers in the past with, I'm not going to say quirky houses, but houses with stuff that's not normal or straightforward. So techie things maybe. Should that seller, I mean, a lot of people are proud of their house too, right? They've maybe installed a lot of this stuff and they want to make sure it's going to somebody that uses it right. Would you ever suggest a meeting between a buyer? The seller, the heart's there for the seller. They want to help the buyer learn about the house. And you've probably had many sellers say, oh, I'll meet them here and I'll tell them all about the Wi-Fi, whatever the heck tech stuff I got going on. Is it a good idea for that buyer and that seller to maybe meet at a final walkthrough and he can show them some stuff? Or is it kind of like figure it out on your own?
I think that that's really person and case dependent.
Yeah.
So typically through that process, the listing agent and the buyer's agent has communicated a lot. We've learned about the buyer. We would probably learn about the buyer through that home inspection process. And if it's a challenge or difficult, definitely no. But most times we work with phenomenal people.
Yep.
So it's okay, right? We want, in a real estate transaction, I always feel it should always work out as a win-win.
Yeah.
As our job, we have to facilitate a win-win. So if we've done that to the best of our ability all the way through, and we've got a feel for everything, I don't think it hurts. Some cases, absolutely not.
Yeah, it's just trouble brewing. Yeah, big time. So for a seller, a walkthrough is not something to be nervous about, not something to be anxious about.
One thing though, to be cautious of as a seller, in those walkthrough clauses, there's wording in there that changes things. That walkthrough clause should always say walkthrough. It should never say walkthrough inspection. If it says the word inspection, there's trouble. Just beware. That's for realtors, sellers, everybody.
So we're heading into the final stretch here. It's pretty much closing day. You've had the walkthrough. Let's go back. I don't know how long it takes. I mean, I've done it. You've done it a million times. Going back to what that seller needs to do utility-wise. What's that seller have to do for getting hydro off their name? Do they make calls?
I think that now you can do everything online and have that new purchaser's name, so it transfers.
Yeah,
on
water
that
heaters
day.
are a big
Water
thing
heater.
to have that name for sure.
Any warranties on the house. If there's any rentals, make sure those are canceled. Make sure Canada Post is moved over.
Rentals, okay, that's a good question. Water softeners. Mm-hmm. Whenever we see a water softener rental, it can raise not gonna say red flag, but it raises interest because a lot of times buyers don't want to take those on. As a seller, during that process, maybe even before it's listed, would it be a good idea for them to at least get buyout numbers to
Yes.
pay that off?
Yes.
Or to get it out of there
Yes.
and have it be, yeah, it's something to prepare for, right? Like a lot of things are overlooked. Water heaters are pretty normal. Water softeners seem to be kind of a hiccup because they can be expensive.
And now furnaces and ACs, so that's a big thing, that if that's a rental item in your home, you need to know those numbers.
Yeah. And a lot of times, not to alarm a seller, but you may have to pay those off if you want that deal to go through because the buyer doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's closing day. You've booked the movers first thing in the morning. Everything's out of the house. You get a call from the lawyer. Everything's closed. Are they done?
Yes.
Exactly. I don't think we missed anything, did we?
I don't think so. No, that's an exciting time. I just got the thrill of the close for them.
There you go. So this YouTube channel thing's new to us, and we're going to pick up steam and momentum, but I think you can comment.
Yeah.
So if you have questions, leave them in the comments, because that's whatever everybody tells me when I'm watching YouTube, right?
Yeah.
All the little sayings.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
For sure. Till next time.
Thanks.